Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your November 2019 general readings. We are looking at the first half of November from the 1st to the 15th. Welcome to everyone who has joined us here today. Welcome to newcomers and first-timers, and welcome back to followers and subscribers. Thank you so much for all of your feedback, comments, and support. Most appreciated. Thank you so much. This reading is for the water sign of Cancer, our lovely Cancerians, our crabs, for the first half of November. Make sure to watch your rising and moon sign videos, your Venus videos, and of course some of you might be cross-watching this video is for you as well. If any of you are interested in setting up a personal reading with me, live or recorded, you can get more info by clicking on the description link below. You can email me directly at maggie1maguire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to work with you. I offer a wide variety of readings in all the main areas of life, and I work at this full time. I do readings 5-6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. It's the sum total of all that I do. So I'm pretty diligent at working with people's schedules and getting you readings in as timely a fashion as possible. So email me if you're interested, and I'd be happy to set something up for you. All right, I'm not sure if my background has changed since the last set of videos I put out or not. I've been doing so much traveling lately. I'm currently back in Eastern Europe after exploring North Africa for the last couple of weeks. But the challenge with traveling sometimes is I never really know what my background or lighting is going to be like. But I'm pretty committed to getting all of my videos out on time. So today it's a blank wall and my funny face, so you'll just have to deal with that. Okay, I am using the Gilded Tarot by Artist Ciro Marchetti, one of my favorite decks to use, particularly for the general videos. So let's see for our lovely Cancerians what the first half of November has in store for you. Okay, Cancer, we have the Queen of Wands, along with the Nine of Cups. We have the Queen of Swords, along with the Chariot. From the bottom of the deck, representing overall energy and focus, is the Knight of Wands. So very fast fire energy, very fast moving. Overall energy, the Knight of Wands. So Wands is governed by the element of fire. Change, movement, action, power, very assertive, aggressive, forward moving. It's the energy of creation. The Knight of Wands, knights are all known for being rather spontaneous and impulsive because they're knights. They rush in and they rush out. The Knight of Wands is the fastest of all four of the knights because he's governed by the element of fire. He tends to be very fast moving, very assertive, going forward, you know, with a lot of power and a lot of speed. In love and romance, he is sometimes known as the player because he comes in, he's very charismatic, very passionate, comes in, goes out, comes in, goes out. That may not necessarily be the case here for you. This is your overall energy and focus for the first half of November. We also have the Queen of Wands, which is a fire sign, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. We have two queens here. So for some of you, it might be a friendship or a relationship with another woman that's relevant and significant. You might be channeling the energy of both these female. You have fire with the Queen of Wands and air with the Queen of Swords, which is very mental energy. This is the Queen of Swords, sometimes called the divorced woman or the widowed woman. This is somebody who has a long road behind her, and that road has been somewhat challenging. She doesn't suffer fools well. She tends to see the BS coming a mile away because she's been through it. So she's heard all the stories, you know, been there, done that. That sword of truth, of clarity, of light cuts through all that extraneous emotional stuff and BS, and she's very good at cutting right through things, seeing things as they really are, and responding accordingly to that. Very smart, very wise, very direct and straightforward person, sitting right next to the Queen of Wands, who's very fiery, very assertive. but because she's kind of grown and matured beyond that energy of the page, beyond the energy of the knight, she's a queen now. So she's reached a point of self-mastery and control, very assertive, very much a go-getter, knows what she wants, goes after it, figures out how to do it, very charismatic, probably very easy on the eyes, very visually appealing. This is somebody who walks into a room and everybody automatically notices her. It's interesting because I feel like for some of you, this Knight of Wands, Queen of Wands, and Queen of Swords is the energy that you yourself are manifesting through the first half of November. And you're manifesting it, you're moving forward with action, with assertion, with some aggressiveness. You know exactly what you want and you are going for that. You are using both fire and air energy to see things clearly and go forward. There's not a lot of, this isn't a dreamy, illusionary, or even just a dreamy, very watery, emotional reading. This is kind of like, look, I know I have decided, I have, maybe something happened recently, and it's like, you know, I've decided that I am going to move forward very quickly, perhaps out of a current situation or relationship I'm in, because I know what I want. The Queen of Wands is clarified by the Nine of Cups. This is the wish fulfillment card. This is knowing exactly what you want, what is going to bring you all of that emotional fulfillment and happiness and joy. This is what you want. You're going for it. You've made a decision to go for it no matter what it costs you. And I mean, the fire energy is where you're like, okay, I've decided this is what I want. I know what I want. And, you know, bugger compromising or negotiating. I know what I want and I'm going to go for it. I'm going to exercise that fire energy and be that lovely queen that I am, or king if that's the case, and go for what I want. You're also staying focused, very ambitious and driven on whatever it is your goal is here with the Chariot. This is a card of very powerful success. This is what clarifies the Queen of Swords. The Chariot is a card of success. Success that comes almost from sheer perseverance, determination, grit, being ambitious, staying focused on your goals, not allowing anything to get in between you and your goals. Winning because you simply refuse to give up no matter how many times you fall, no matter how many times you have to get up. This is about moving forward and not allowing yourself to be distracted, by staying focused on your goals and pulling together everything that you need, everything that is in your ability, or gathering together the resources to make things work together in unison and harmony to get what you want. It's kind of like we have this fire and air energy here. Here is the drive, the ambition, the fire. Here is the intelligence, the foresight, the wisdom, the thought to go after what you want in a very powerful way. And I feel like this is something you've decided to do recently. It's kind of like a decision has been made within you, Cancer, to move forward. Out of something, and out of something negative or out of something challenging, or I feel like some of you have just been in a situation where you've been unhappy or not feeling not fulfilled for quite some time, and you are now making the decision to say, look, I need to go pursue what is good for me, what I want, what's going to bring me happiness and joy, and I'm leaving. Because I get for some of you a vision of you actually having this conversation with someone. Let's see if we can flesh this out. What has prompted this energy? It might be in the relationship realm for some of you. It might be in work, career, finances for some of you. It may have been a job that you've just been stuck in and unhappy with for quite some time. And all of a sudden you realize, because this is what it feels like. It feels like all of a sudden you've woken up one day and you've realized that you actually have the ability and the power, you and nobody else, to change the situation by making a decision to change it and backing that up with action. And once you realize that, it's kind of like you got your mojo back and you're just off and running. The Ten of Swords and the Five of Cups. Oh, there's a kind of similar thread to, I think I've done about half the readings so far, half the signs so far for the first half of November, and there seems to be a theme or a kind of a connecting thread with at least a lot of the readings that I've been doing about making decisions that are in our best interest, our higher good for our future, even though making those decisions means that we have to let go of something in our current present in order to have that a little ways down the road, which is can be very challenging, because it looks like what's prompting all of this wonderful, powerful, hey, I know who I am. I forgot who I was, but now I know who I am, and I am moving out of this towards what I want. It's fueled by the Ten of Swords and the Five of Cups. Aw. I mean, the Ten of Swords is sometimes a stabbed in the back or betrayal card. I mean, maybe somebody stabbed you in the back, betrayed you, cheated on you. There is definitely a sense of loss with the Five of Cups here. Again, this could be in love and romance. It could be in a work career situation. It could be with a friend. It looks like you were in a situation where you were unexpectedly brought to a sense of loss because of the awareness that you can't really have what you want within this relationship or within this job or situation. It may have been something that you kind of knew on an intuitive level, but for some reason you've just kind of woken up to it now. You've realized that what you've been in, what you've had, isn't what you want. You're moving quite powerfully away from that. It's kind of like you're doing the right thing, and you're being very powerful and strong and wise about it, and kudos for you for doing that. But there is a price to pay for that, and that is that you have to let go of what you've been in, that I feel some kind of emotional attachment. So for some of you, it might be relationship or just a job that you've been comfortable in, although not exactly happy, if that makes sense. Like you're just comfortable doing the job. Maybe you like some of the people you work around. But it's ultimately not going anywhere. A relationship that's ultimately not going anywhere, even though you might care or love the person. It's about, I have to make the decisions. You're leaving something behind. And that leaving something behind is not easy. It looks difficult, challenging, painful. It could be that somebody really quite hurt you, disappointed you, betrayed you, or left you with a profound sense of letdown. And while you're making a very healthy and wise decision, of course, it looks difficult, and there's going to be some grieving that you go through in doing this. But I think the advice here, Cancer, is maintaining an eye on your goal, whether it's in a career goal, a job goal, a work goal, a love goal, anything like that. It's about not forgetting what it is that you ultimately want, and keeping an eye on the practicalities of, yes, emotions can sometimes cloud issues, but really it's about what I want. For example, if it's a relationships are easier examples, and I'm in a relationship with somebody that I care about or love, but we're not headed in the same direction. We're not wanting the same things ultimately. So even though I love this person, it's finally been made clear to me through a variety of things, or maybe one big thing, that this is not going to happen. So in order to have what I want and stay focused on that, I have to be somewhat practical and say, you know what, I might be afraid of what happens after, or the pain or the loss, but that process is important because it will put a cap and an end to what I've been going through, and at least give me the opportunity in the future to have what I want by saying no to what's not fulfilling and saying yes to the possibility that I can get that met a little ways down the road and moving towards that. Cancer, it looks like many of you are just making the decision to move away from something dissatisfying, unhealthy, unfulfilling, not in your best interest or in your higher good. And you're doing it, which is great, and everyone may be kind of applauding you on the outside, and you're actually coming across very attractively and very powerful and very smart and intuitive. And you are, but underneath, of course, there's this kind of undercurrent of, this is difficult to do, and I have to leave something behind in order to open up the possibility to have what I really want. And that's taking a step in faith, not seeing how the road is going to play off, but taking a step in faith that by doing the right thing, that will be answered at some point, and that it will make, the grief and stuff that I'm going through make sense and have value and purpose in the end. So good for you, Cancer. Make sure to balance any emotional energy which can be challenging and threaten to pull you back into something you don't want to go back to. Make sure to balance that with that air energy, that sword energy of seeing what the reality of a situation is and not look back at something with rose-colored glasses, because we want to stop this cycle. Yeah, I think it's about, particularly if it's a relationship, spending time in contemplation and being kind of careful not to, re-involve yourself with the person or the situation that this is actually about. What's behind the Hermit? The Eight of Wands in reverse. In the upright position, this would be movement and communication, but in the reverse, because you already have positive movement forward. But I think for those of you for whom this is a relationship, this is about staying out of relationships for a while and not having communication with the person that you are kind of disengaging from. The Hermit also spends time in contemplation, in looking over things, but not in kind of a nostalgic, reminiscent kind of way. He looks at it and he picks certain things out in order to gain understanding and enlightenment and wisdom. And he can use that moving forward to help guide him forward so he doesn't fall into the same pitfalls and make the same mistakes. That's what the light of this lantern is symbolic for. I mean, what do monks do? What do hermits do? What do monastics do? They withdraw from the day-to-day distractions of our normal day-to-day world and life. Why do they do that? They do that so they can be in a quiet place so that they can think about things, go over things, try and gain some enlightenment, some answers, some wisdom. And they use that as symbolized by the light and their experience in moving forward so that it lights the way so that they don't make the same missteps and mistakes that they did before. And they can also share this wisdom with others down the road too. So that's a good source of advice over the next couple of weeks. Maybe being a little quieter, like kind of moving forward and putting, the pedal to the metal and nose to the grindstone and all of that stuff. Going through what you need to go through and perhaps not, spending more meditative, contemplative time as well. Just make sure that that time is actually spent in gaining wisdom and enlightenment, not in, kind of getting so stuck, which is the danger of the Five of Cups, not getting so stuck in what's gone and what's lost. There is a certain amount of healthy grieving period, but don't focus on it so much that you miss the other things in your life that there is to still be grateful for, and also opportunities which may come along that you might miss because you're focused on the past. We can't, there's a time to honor what has been, but then there's a time to kind of get up and move forward too. We don't want to get stuck in that. So Cancer, that pretty much wraps up your reading for the first half of November. I hope you found it helpful and useful. Again, for those of you who are interested in a personal reading with me, just click on the description link below. Email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I'd be most happy to work with you. All of that's in the description link below. And I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the mid-month readings. Until then, as always, I wish you much joy, love, peace, and strength. And I hope to see you again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.